Warning, Prospect Watch is not your average hockey podcast, and that's okay with us. Our goal is to introduce you to stars in the making from all over the world. They may not be household names yet, but we assure you they will be soon enough. Welcome to Prospect Watch. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the next episode of Prospect Watch with your host, Lance Green.
All right, guys, like Steel said, hello and welcome to Prospect Watch, a podcast that focuses solely on the discovery and promotion of some of the best young talent in the game today from all reaches of the world. I'm your host, Lance Green, and of course, sticking around is my co-host, Steel. Steel, we got a pretty good one today. Guest joining us.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I think we're fired up about this one, man, for sure.
I think he's right up our alley. His play style is amazing, and that is a Mr. Jackson Smith of the WHL's Tri-City Americans. Jackson, how are you? Thank you for being on the show.
Yeah, I'm doing great. Thank you guys for having me. It's a pleasure.
Good deal.
Awesome.
Good deal. All right.
It's a pleasure for us. Trust me.
Yes, for sure. For sure. So, guys, if you aren't familiar with this young man's game, let us get you familiar. All right. Yes. Yep. Shame on you.
Let's do it.
All right.
Let's do it.
Jackson is a 6'3", 190-pound blue liner. And he's one of the best ones in my mind coming out of this draft class. And it's largely due to the fact that he can skate better than most forwards we've interviewed this year, Steel.
You know.
I'm just saying. And no, I'm not kidding about that, guys. In addition to that, though, Jackson, in my mind, is one of maybe 2 or 3 legit shutdown defenders that will be available in this draft class as well.
Boom diada.
Kind of an old school defender there, right? Has the means to take it up ice when needed, but can stay back and protect the old goalies as well. So, man, Steel, I'm just so excited for this interview to kick off. Why don't we get to start asking this young man some questions?
I think so too. I'm very excited. Jackson, I've actually been watching you now for the last season and a half. You are one of the guys that I kind of zeroed in on here like a year or two ago, and just kind of been watching and following it and everything else like that. So I'm going to ask you this, okay? So our fans have a better idea of your game, and we know that Lance just gave us a great pile of information about you, but can you maybe give us an NHL player that you maybe from the past or present growing up that maybe influenced you or maybe you modeled your game after?
Yeah, I think growing up, I always looked up to like Drew Doughty, guys like that. But now, as I've gotten a bit older, Miro Heiskanen, I feel like is a bit more of my player comparison. He's a really good 200-foot guy, skates like the wind, is a big guy too. So, I think he's a guy who can play an offensive role and defensive role, which is, I think, just like me.
I think he's a very underrated player, and that's not a guy you usually hear a lot of.
I was just going to say, and I was actually just watching him last night, so yeah.
Yeah, he's a pretty darn good player in his own right. So,
but I have to agree, though. I think that's a good way to look at it. You had kind of something in the beginning and then moved on to something a little later. You know what I mean? So, and Heiskanen is a really good player. So,
yeah, he is.
All right, so now your name has been shooting up most draft boards lately, and for good reason. But if I'm being honest, I think the thing I like best about you is that your game is still so raw. And what I mean by that is your potential seems limitless at this time. I've been watching you, as Steel said, for a while now, and I'm still can see night in and night out how you're making small changes, and if you make a mistake, you're correcting it within the next game or two even. And I think that is what will, kind of get the scouts and those minds excited, because you're not a guy that's just going to be, leveling
Yeah.
off anytime soon. So, I mean, do you consider yourself a kind of a student of the game in that sense, and constantly trying to work on your craft?
Yeah, I'd say I got a pretty good head for the game. I mean, growing up, I've always been really good at letting things go. So like when I make a mistake, know what I did wrong, but not let it affect me during the game, and trying to perfect my craft and be the best that I can. So I'd say, yeah, I'm a student of the game, and I feel like I can learn the game really well. And I think that's another reason why I can, in the next level, like you said, I feel like, my where I can go and how far I can go with it, I think is pretty high. So yeah, I think it's a big part.
You definitely have a very, very high ceiling, that's for sure, Jackson. And it's good to see that you have that drive. You know what I mean? And so let's go back to a little bit here at the beginning. And what made you settle on playing defense and blocking shots and just playing defense? What made you want to do that?
Yeah, I don't know. I was a forward when I was younger, like really young, and then there's the Brick Invitational tournament in Edmonton, and I got cut from that as a forward. After that, I was kind of like, well, I'm bigger than most of these guys, so I might as well try some defense here. And I was really good at it. I found a bit more fun, a bit easier to play. I felt I could see the ice a bit better, and I think I can still use what I learned from being a forward and in my defensive skill, and being able to join the play and create offense. I feel like is a big strength of mine.
Awesome. Yeah, man.
Good deal. All right. So I know we didn't play the same position as you, but can you speak a little on having a guy like Stu Barnes, NHL veteran that's played so many games, coaching you in practice and being behind you, as that voice over your shoulder during a game?
Yeah, I think we got two of them. We got Stu, and then we got Jody Hall as well. Both have played over 900 games, so I mean it's crazy to have that kind of experience. But I think it's a huge part where they've been in our shoes before. Stu played in the WHL, Jody played in the OHL. They both know what we're going through. So I think just being able to have them behind us and being able to learn from them in practice, and even you make a mistake in a game, they're really good at being able to show you what you did wrong. And I think that's another piece that I have in my toolbox, that I have some great coaches behind me. So it's very helpful.
I mean, for sure, for sure. You're definitely your hockey IQ is definitely off the charts, I'd say. What do you think, Lance?
For sure, man.
Yeah.
I think that's why scouts have him so high as well. I can't believe how his stock is still soaring.
I know. I mean, it's been amazing. It's been really fun to watch, to be honest with you. So, speaking of fun to watch, tell us what it was like to play in the CHL versus USA Prospect Challenge.
Yeah, that was awesome. I mean, I played with a lot of those guys at the Holinka Cup, and just being able to see them again. And we had an incredible group of guys. I mean, like if you just look at that team, it was stacked. So
Oh yeah.
going up against USA, we were pretty confident, even though we hadn't played together much. We were pretty confident in ourselves and that skill that team had. So we kind of just dominated the whole way. So it was really fun though, getting that experience. There's a lot of cool interviews that we got to do with like Sportsnet, those kind of guys. So it was just all around really fun and really cool to get to beat USA again too. So it was awesome.
I mean, for sure. I mean, they even had you mic'd up too, right?
Yeah, they had me mic'd up in our first morning skate. So that was pretty fun to do.
Okay, good deal. Good deal.
All right. Definitely fun to watch. I hope they continue to do more of those, because that was awesome.
It was great.
So give me one area of your game that you feel is a strength besides the one we already mentioned, your speed and everything like that. But and one area you still wish to work on.
Yeah, I think a big strength of mine is partly like with the skating aspect is being able to get up the ice and create offense. I think carrying the puck up the ice and joining the play as a fourth guy, I think it creates a lot. And my blue line work too, I think I've gotten really good at it. Being able to move just everywhere in the O-zone, I think is a big strength of mine, and finding open space. And then a piece that I think I can still improve on is a bit in the D zone where I find I think I can be a bit more physical and hard to play against. Sometimes I feel like I let off on guys where I kind of want to be a bit of a pest out there and not want to be a guy that guys don't want to go in the corner with and be throwing some cross checks more. So that's a big thing.
All right. Yeah, we would hate to see that,
No.
more
Oh,
physical aspect of the game for sure.
How dare you? I was just going to say, one of the questions I was going to ask you was like, is body checking, like, did that just come natural for you, man? Or, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know. I back in when we started, like my U15 prep year at Edge, when I was playing Bantam hockey, that was my peak of physicality. I was just killing guys because I was so much bigger than everybody. I was just being able to manhandle them. It was pretty fun just being able to hit guys. And then U18, I was still doing that. I think I need to bring that back a bit more. Like I'm still pretty physical here, but I think that's a big thing that I can be more physical. So I think that would be a really good thing for me.
All right. Yeah. I would agree. I would have to agree. So now, Jackson, I was an ex-chef in a lifetime, long time ago, and I like to ask players, what is their preferred pregame meal?
Our billet mom makes us the same pregame meal every time, and it's really good. It's like rice, chicken, a bunch of different veggies on top. I don't even know what it is, and then I put some soy sauce and this other sauce that they have there. It's some really good stuff. So I love eating that. It's one of my favorite meals. So getting to eat that quite a bit. It's pretty good.
All right. There you go. That sounds really tasty, man. I like the chicken with the rice and the veggies and the soy sauce kind of gives it that little Asian kick there. You know what I mean?
Yeah, sure.
Right. So do you put like hot sauce on it or anything?
It's like the sauce is like kind of hot sauce, but it's not too hot. I don't actually know what it's called. I can't remember. It's like black truffle sauce. Actually, I kind of remember it.
Oh wow! All right,
fancy with it.
Well, living the high life, man.
It's pretty good. So yeah, it's awesome.
The guy's eating truffle oil and stuff. All right.
So we've learned a little about your game and everything like that. So tell us one thing that we could find you doing for fun away from the rink.
Yeah, I've been kind of a all-around athlete growing up. I was remember at this downtown club, but they have all these kind of sports. I was actually a better swimmer than I was hockey player when I was younger, so that was pretty cool. That's pretty cool to have. And I've also been golfing my whole life, so I would say the biggest thing that I do outside of hockey is golf. Two of my best friends back home, one plays D2 golf in Miami, the other plays D2 golf in New York, so I was pretty good competition there. So being able to go with them and play, it's pretty sweet. So that's the biggest thing I do in the summers.
All right. So what kind of clubs you swinging then?
I got TaylorMade. My irons are TaylorMade MC7s, and then I got the TaylorMade Stealth 2 driver and the Stealth 2 hybrid and 3-wood 2.
Okay. All right. All TaylorMade. All right.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
That's some good set. All right. In the WHL, you have to play against some pretty amazing players night in and night out. And I just want to know if we can kind of just pick your brain a little bit here for a minute and tell us in detail exactly what you're paying attention to, looking for, et cetera, when these star players are coming down at you and getting ready to take on your goalie. What's some of the things that's going through your mind?
Yeah, I think, some of the best players, like I find the hardest to defend are the smaller, shifty guys. Like a Catton or a Crystal, those guys, they're really hard to defend. So, and what makes them so good is you don't know what they're going to do when you're coming down. So you got to be prepared for anything. One thing is, I try not to do too many crossovers when I'm coming back and they're coming at me, because I cross over one way, they're going the other, and they're by me. So I think just having an active stick, being ready for whatever, and being on my toes and because you never know which way they're going. So I think that's a big thing for me, and kind of reading the play and see what else they have with them. Like if they have 3 guys, 2 guys, like whatever they have, so I can kind of, and if it's just him, closing the gap as quick as I can and try to stay up on, especially the speedy, fast little guys. You got to have a good gap on those guys so you can be moving with them.
For sure, man. All right. Yeah, man.
That's a pretty good breakdown. All right. So my final question would be for you to pretend for a minute that we are NHL executives and we just asked you what kind of person our team would be getting if we selected you, not necessarily the player, but the person.
Yeah, I'm a really outgoing guy. Like I love to talk. I would say I'm a pretty funny guy. I like to put a smile on people's faces. Nice person away from the rink that will, is always wanting to hang out with the boys, after like go play some pickup basketball or something, or just do anything with the boys. I just like to be around people and, be a nice guy and, be able to bring joy to other people.
All right.
There you go, man. That's pretty good. And now I'm going to say that this is going to be my last question for you, Jackson, as well. And you've spoken about a little bit as well. What kind of advice would you give the younger guys coming up behind you that want to be where you are right now?
Yeah, I would say just, you got to have the confidence in yourself. I think that's a big thing for me growing up is I learned to have a lot of confidence in myself and, show that on the ice. And I feel like I've done that. So I think that's a big thing for younger kids. I think a lot of time they don't have as much confidence as they should, and just always be working your hardest. Got to understand that the work you got to put in, you got to sacrifice things and be willing to do that to get to where you're at. And it's a hard part of it is being like, you got friends back home, they want to go do stuff and you can't because you got to work out or you got to skate or something. You got to be willing to sacrifice those fun times to have more fun times in the future, because going to the NHL is the dream. So you got to be willing to sacrifice things and work your hardest.
Wow, man, dude, can we have him on our team now?
I mean,
can we just have him on our team?
Squared away already.
What? All right, cool. You're hired. What? No. Jackson, thank you so very much. Really appreciate this. Also, big shout out to the main man, Pots and Pans, the PR guru, Mr. Craig, for helping getting this all set up, man. Really appreciate all the hard work and for you and allowing us to sit down here and talk to Jackson, man. We really appreciate that. So, Lance, you said you got an article coming out here for this young man. How soon do you think we're going to have that?
I have to edit it out and get some pictures put in and all that good stuff, but hopefully about the time the show airs. So
there you go.
That'll be good. Top 5 defensemen in this year's draft, and this young man is one of them.
For sure, man. Be looking forward to that article coming out from Lance, and also be looking out for this great show coming out here too. Please, if you like what we do, hit the like and subscribe. We really would appreciate that, and that really helps us out, man. And thank you, Jackson, for hopping on, man. Really appreciate it, buddy.
Yeah, thank you guys for your time too. I really appreciate it.
You got it. All right. This has been another great episode of Prospect Watch, and we will catch you all on the next one.